Masechta Bava basra, the last block, Daf Kuf Ayin Vav. We're not going to make the sim tonight. We're going to make the sim out of Yutas Kislev. Yutas Kislev itself, not Ma'ariv. And we're going to leave some words. And tomorrow we're starting Sanhedrin. Okay. The fifth line from the top of Daf Kuf Ayin Vav. Hoitzi alav ksav yodei. If a person pulled out an IOU document, meaning he wrote the document himself, the Malva himself. The Malva pulled out a document that the Lev himself had written a star with his own handwriting that he owes money to the Malva. Shehu chayiv loy, that he owes money to the Malva. Goiva, the Malva could collect the nechasim, you could collect the money, only from those nechasim that he has right now. But not from whatever he sold to people after the loan, because you cannot collect from the lukuchis. Every time that you lend money, have the labor write you a note that he owes you the money. IOU note, it's better with Eidim. We'll soon see. We're going to talk about it. A star is much better. Wait. Yeah. Well, Eidim machen akel. We're going to learn it right now. How about if they took this IOU note? Meaning the lawyer wrote this note that he owes $1,000 to the Malva, and now he wants to get it sealed by Bezdin with Dayanim. Ksav Yodeh, he took his Ksav Yad, the Bezdin, to get a hempick, a seal. What's the din? Does this type of a kim help that should be considered as a star with Eidim, that he should be able to collect from the Lekoches or not? Even though it was verified in Bezdin, and Bezdin was ma'ashit, gave a hempik, a seal, said it's valid star. He can only collect from the chasbnei chayna. Okay, and the Gemara is going to explain why later. You're going to see the reason why. Masiv Rabbi Bar Chama. Rabbi Bar Chama asked from a Mishnah, in which we learn Shleisha Gitin Psulim. There are 3 Gitin that are possible with the Rabbanan. The Imnises, and if the woman got married based on this get that she received from this husband that was possible with the Rabbanan, Havlad kosher, the Vlad is kosher because it was only possible with the Rabbanan. What are these 3 Gitin? These are they. Kosav Biksav Yodei. The husband wrote a get with his own Ksav Yad, Obeveina Love Eidim. And there's no Eidim. And we're going according to Abnei, who says Eidim Chasima Karse. The Eidim Chasima make the Krisus, and you don't have Eidim. But there were Eidim Esida that watched him give over the get to his wife. So it's Midrabanan that you need Eidim Chasima. That just in case the Eidim Esida die, or the Eidim Esida against Midin Sayam, so you have the Eidim Chasima from the start that could testify. Yes, you love Eidim. Let's say you had Eidim by Zman, and there was no Zman. That's also Absum and the Rabbanan. The Gemara gives 2 reasons. We won't go into it. One is he was married to his niece, and he'll have Rachmanis, and he'll write, and he'll say that there's no Zman. He'll say that he got divorced before she was Mizana. Okay. If there is a Zman, and there's only 1 8, so then again, these 3 Gitna apostle, if she got married based on these Gitin, Havalot kosher. The Vlad is kosher because if the get was a get, there was Eidim Esida had seen how the husband gave over the get to the Isha, but it didn't fill all the requirements that the Rabbanan wanted. The Rabbanan wanted it should be Eidim Chasima on the start. They wanted it should be a Zman. And you need 2 Eidim. These Gittin had a psul in one of these ways. Either there were no 2 Eidim, or there was only 1 Eid, there was no Zman. Nevertheless, Minatayra, if she got married and then had a child, the child is not a mamza. Nevertheless, takes it a step further. Even if there's no Eidim at all, the son-in-law, the husband gave the get. The din is the get is kosher. The get is kosher because Abelazar held Eidim Mesida Karse, which Eidim make the creases of the get, the Eidim that are watching how the husband gave over the get. And the same thing by other studies. This, if there's a star that was given over in front of Eidim, meaning the Eidim saw how the loiva borrowed money from the malva, that's enough. They don't need Eidim Chsina. And from that moment on, because there were Eidim that watched how the loiva borrowed from the malva, they can go. If the loiva now sells nechasim after the halva, then the malva can go after those nechas or after the lekuchis. Huh? Here it's Eidim machen hakoil. So even if shibud is lav that Isa, but it's not kanas chachamim, but that shaloi sinil delas b'fnei lavin. Here the lekuchis knew about it according to Rabbi Lezer because the Eidim is making a koil. So now the shaila is, if you're saying even without any Eidim on the star, zero, you say he could collect from the lekuchis. Our case where he wrote IOU star and he got the Bezdin, a dayarim, 3 dayarim to machna hempik. So from that day on, if the labor sells to lekuchis, sells it to buyers, let the malva collect from the buyers. For sure she'll be able to collect the buyers. So if you want to know, Shani Hasan, there it's different. The Mishas Ksidu the Shapnav Shei. By regular Ksidus HaStar, by Star Chayiv, a regular star, it was lechatchila implanted that he should, when they wrote up the star, when the labor borrowed from the malva, they said, this star is written as a guarantee that if you sell anything from after the time that I lent you the money, from after the halva, I can collect from the lekuchis. It was written lechatchila for that. But the IOU star that he wrote himself wasn't written lechatchila that he's going to guarantee if after the halva, if he sells nechasim, that the malva can collect. It wasn't written that way. It's not a normal star. IOU stars are different. That I owe you money. And what was the purpose of getting Bezdin to give a hempik? That he shouldn't be able to deny it later. Here he brings it down on the bottom from the Rashbam. He says, at the time, by a regular star, at the time when it was written, was it was written in such a way, like a star that had 2 Eidim sign on it. According to Ablazi, you don't need the chsina, but it was written in such a way that he should be able to, with a guarantee. In a way, that was the purpose of the star, to be able to collect if he sells anything after the time of the loan. But Ula Umazais, Rabbi Yochanan Biksav Yoda Shaloi Nichtav El Raya. But this IOU star is only written that he should have a raya that the labor owes him money. Okay. Ariv, we learned the Mishnah Ariv HaYitzel Achachitim Shtaris. Ariv, that the Ariv signed Arvos after the signatures of the star. So there we said, Rabbi Yishmael says, he could collect from the Nechas from Neichainen, and Banana says from Garnish. Garnish, it has nothing to do with it. Amarav, Rav said, Koidim Chitim Shtaris, what's if the Ariv wrote his name and signed his name before the signatures of the star? Before the Eidim, right, on top of it. Then then the Malva could collect from the Chasim Mishubadim of the Ariv, because the Ariv was before the Eidim. But if the Ariv came after the signatures of the star, then he could only collect. The Malva could only collect from the Ariv's Nechasim b'nei Chayden. Zog the Gemara Zimnim Amarav, but at times I've said Afilu Kaidem Chitun Shtareis, even if the Ariv signed before the signature of the Shtareis, Eine Goiva Elam Nechasim b'nei Chayden. He still could only collect from the Ariv's b'nei Chayden, not from the Mishubadim. Kasha the Rav the Rav. So
both before and both after he's holding.
Yeah, Rav. In the second part of the sentence, in the first part, he says a blanket statement. If the Ariv signed his name before the signatures of the star, then the Malva can collect from the Nechasim Mishubadim of the Ariv. Then we have another Rav that says that only at times, he says at times you could collect from the Nechasim Mishubadim, but at times you can't. you can only collect from the chasm neichenim. So it says stira kasha derab derab. Rav says automatically if his name at the beginning, Rav said before that if his name was before the signatures of the star, the Malva could collect from the mishubadim of the Arev. And here it says only zimnin. So you want to lay kasha? It's not a kasha. The kasha be plainly Arev. When did he say that he could only collect from the chasm neichenim if on the top of the signature it only said plainly Arev? Yena is a Arev. That person is the Arev. So in such a case, it's not. We're not sure if the Eidim that are on after the Arev are testifying about the Arev he took his chayvus, or they're testifying on the Guva Shtar. It could be that there was nowhere to sign the chsimis, and this guy wrote Arvus. So they said, we'll put we need two signatures. We need space, so we'll put it on the bottom of the word Arev. So it's no raya that the Eidim are testifying that he's Arev. The Kasa be Upleni Arev. But with Avav Achibur, when it says Upleni, that means it's connected to the Guf of the Shtar, that this whole Hava happened. Upleni, in a continuation of that story, that this guy said that guy is taking Arvus. It's a continuation. And then they sign. So they're signing for the whole story, because part of the story is Upleni, and that person is the Arev. So therefore you can collect from the Chasm Shabbat. Yechanan says, whether it's if the Arev was signed Upleni or Pleni, it's not going to make a difference. You can only be able to collect from the chasm of the Arev, even though it was before the signature of the Eidim on top of the signature. It was written even Upleni mitavav achibur. Afagav the chasm bei Upleni Arev. You can only collect from the chasm neichenim. That's what Rabbi Yochanan said.
What's his reasoning?
What are you talking about? I'm going to show you. Rabbi Yochanan says just the opposite. We learned Eidim HaChasumim Al Sheila Sholem beget Eidim that signed on the get, and in addition, they were signing Sheila Sholem that they should be like messengers to give a greeting to that person over there or to the woman there, to his ex, to say, "How are you?" Okay.
Again, that's why you're still friends.
So this is a shaila. What is that the Gemara wants to say cannot be, because then maybe the get becomes ois get if he's eating his saying greetings. But to another person that he's going to meet there where the get is going to take place, so the husband says, send greetings.
Shalom. If you're giving it over to another person, you give it over to her.
When you're giving it over to her, I'm telling you in the get, I'm making you shluchim also to say shalom aleichem to that person.
Give the get to her.
And give the get to her. It's written on both. Chashina Shemer Rak al Sheilu Shalom Chasmo. Eidim signed after the wording that the husband wrote. I want you to say Shalom Aleichem to Yanayid. And so we're afraid maybe the Eidim that came after that Sheila Shalom, that he sent them a message in the get to say Shalom Aleichem. Maybe that's all they're testifying about, but not about the Gufa get. Rabbi Abo said, to me, this halacha was explained through Rabbi Yochanan like this: She'ilu, if the word was written She'ilu, B'shalom Pleni, that you should ask greetings to that person without the Vav HaChibur, then possible. We'll say this get is possible because the Eidim are not Eidim for the get, they're Eidim for the She'ilah Shalom, for the greetings. But if it has a Vav to She'ilu, that's a Vav Achiba in addition to the get, I want you also to say Shalom Aleichem Rebbe. So Ushilu is a connection to the whole get. So then the Eidim are testifying on everything. Kasha, then it's a kasha get. So you see, how could Rabbi Yochanan say before, it makes no difference if there's a Vav Achibur in Upleni Arev or Pleni Arev. He said it makes no difference. He says you could only collect from the Chasm Neichayren, and because he doesn't differentiate, and here Rabbi Yochanan differentiates. He says if it's just a She'ilu, it's a apostle yet, because maybe they're only testifying on the greetings. She'ilu, then we say no, he's testifying on everything. on the get, the greetings together with the get. So, and the Gemara Hachanami, the Kasa Pliny Arev, he says that the Gemara answers, Rabbi Yochanan is talking about not that the Echad Zeh is going on Pliny and U Pliny. Rather, Echad Zeh is going on. The Kavanah is whether the Arvis was written after the Chsimus HaEdim, whether the Arvis was written before the Chsimus HaEdim, it makes no difference. The Malva could only collect from the Nechasim Neichayim. Okay? That's how he learns Pshat. The Gemara says, not that the Pshat were the Uv the Vav. It has nothing to do with the Vav. In fact, the Gemara,
Either way, he holds it, but it's always been
only from the Nechasim Neichayim. Right. In fact, the Gemara, Hachi Hainu Darav. In fact, the Gemara, so what is Rabbi Yochanan adding? If he holds the same, that there's a difference if it's with a Vav or without a Vav, what is Rabbi Yochanan saying more than Rav? It's Mamish Rav. Rav said, huh?
holding the same thing.
Yeah, if it's just plainy, if it's just plainy, right? So then it makes no chilik. I mean, if it's plainy, he's exactly like Rav, that the halacha is that you will only be able to collect from the Bnei Chayim. And for the Gemara, you have to say v'chein Amar Rabbi Yochanan, not that it's that it was only Rav and Rabbi Yochanan is arguing. No, v'chein Amar Rabbi Yochanan, Azeh Rabbi Yochanan Eichad Gizah. Beide halten selbe Sache. Rabbi Yochanan, when we say Rabbi Yochanan said this thing, it wasn't meaning to argue in Rav. Rather, he also said v'chein Amar. Rather, he also said the same thing as Rav.
You guys are going to listen to what he says. You're going to be
Okay, good. Sag die Gemara.
So why don't you join
If
us?
you're going to listen to what he says, you're going to be Ayin Talmud Chacham.
Come here,
Okay.
sit down with us. We're not going to charge you.
Maisa, let's go weiter. Maisa, Uba Lifnei Rabbi Yishmael. You remember the story that there was a story with the Arev being signed under the Chsimis after the Chsimis of the Shtar. Rabbi Yishmael said he could only collect from the Chasim and the Chayrim. Benanes said no, he cannot collect from anything because he said it's just like somebody who sees that the Malva is choking the leiva and he's forcing him to pay, and the outsider comes and says, "Stop! Don't kill him. I'll pay the chayv." So over there, he has nothing to do with the. He's not an oriv to the loan. He just wanted to stop this. He shouldn't kill him. He wanted to save him. Okay. Amar Rabbi Chana said, Amar Rabbi Yochanan, name of Rabbi Yochanan, Afal Pisha Kilas Rabbi Yishmael es bananas. Even though Rabbi Yishmael praised bananas, he says if somebody wants to sharpen his mind in Torah, he should learn dinim mamanis. And by whom? By bananas. Learn as a student by bananas. So he was meshabeir bananas. So it sounds like he holds like bananas. So he says, nevertheless, the halacha k'meis is like Rabbi Yishmael, that we don't follow bananas, that rather we say he does collect from the nechasim b'nei chayren, versus bananas who says you don't collect for nothing. The Gemara asked Shayla, how about b'chonuk, mali, Omar Rabbi Yishmael? He says, how about by chonuk? The case of the Malva choking the leiva, and the outsider came and he says, "Stop! I'll pay for it. Don't kill him. I'll pay for it." So, what's the halacha? Do we say that he's meshubit? He has to pay the chayiv. The Arab, does he have to pay? But because he promised and he told him to stop it, so is he? Okay. Do we say he was mechayiv himself? Because maybe because of the tsar of the leiva that he to stop that, so he was going to be meshabed himself for the chayiv. Or we say no, he didn't want to do the mitzvah of atzalos nefashis, but not really give money. He did the mitzvah. Zog, you want to tashma? Come in, I'll answer you. The Amar Rabbi Yaakov, Amar Rabbi Yochanan. Choluk hoya Rabbi Yishmael af bechonuk. Rabbi Yishmael argued even by the case of Chanuk that the outsider hat sich mishabed given or muz tzol, and he was mishabed himself to pay, and he has to pay. He's like a Arif. He's like a Arif, and he has to pay. In fact, you might say, is that halacha like Rabbi Yishmael or not? By Chanuk, does he Is he meshubit? Does he have to pay the chayv or not? Is that the halach or not? Tashma, come in lines you. The chasar Ravin. When Ravin came, Amar Rabbi Yochanan Yizak, Cholok Hoyer Rabbi Yishmael after Chanuk. Rabbi Yishmael would argue, even by the case of Chanuk, that the outsider had sich mishabed given and he has to pay.
Which is the first case that he argues? Which is the first?
If the Adam's, the Ariv, a regular Ariv soul signed his name after it was paid, after the Chassidus of the Shtar. And this is a case of Chanuk. The Mal was choking a leva, and then he comes. Yeah, so the halacha is kemoisei even by Chanuk that he's meshubit and he has to pay the chayv. Amar Rav Yehuda.
It's only from Bnei Chayim, right?
What? Only from the Bnei Chayim, right? Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Shmuel. Rav Yehuda said in the name of Shmuel, Chanuk, somebody who accepts upon himself to be like a order to the loiva, to take the chayz to pay the loiva's bill to save him from getting choked. There was a Kenyan sudar, meaning that the Malva gave him a suda in exchange that he's being mischayiv himself to pay the chayv of the loiva. This outside person.
Give it to the other.
He gave it to the other. Mishtabit. Then it becomes mishubit. Miklal, it's mashma. Only by Chanuk you needed the kinyan that it should take place. But the other be alma lay by your kinyan. But a ariv, stam ariv.
Oh, it's still a din of Bnei Chayim?
Yeah, this is for sure on the Bnei Chayim.
Even though there's a Kenyan.
Yeah, it does make a difference. Miklal, over there, only when did you need a kinyan? By the case of Chanuk. But a regular ariv who signed his name after he was mischayiv himself after the payment was given, lay by a kinyan. He doesn't need a kinyan. Or pliga der Rav Nachman. Rav Nachman argues on it. Rav Nachman, ariv the bezdin, who the lay by a kinyan? Only what type of a ariv doesn't need a kinyan? If the bezdin in bezdin they were mechayiv the leiva, and the leiva says I don't have the money, and they're starting to pressure him. So a guy in bezdin says, you know what, I'll be the ariv. So this and bezdin accepts him. Oh, the safagenigan, that's enough for him. Bezdin trusts him, and they stop the case, and he's the ariv. So then you don't need a kinyan. Because so that's the hana, because with that hana that he got, that's how he was mishabed himself, because it's not an asmachta, he was makabel kinyan. It's a covet that they accepted. It says over here. And this guy outsider said, Hanichu, leave him alone, Hani, I'll be the Ariv to you guys for him. So that's it. That he has the Ariv has Hana from this that Bezdin trusted him.
Mom says very simple words.
Because he's not in the Bezdin. Right, very good. Covered totals. But everywhere else, you would need a kinyan if there was no type of Hana. The only way he would be mishabed himself if there was some type of a kinyan. We're going to have to stop here.